Right? Moving on, I had a question about bugging in versus bugging out. Found this one to be interesting. This comes from Sean. Sean says, what specific facts, keywords, etc., would you look for in an event that would make you decide to bug in or bug out? Example, there's another pandemic such as COVID. Naturally, the media would lie, either downplay the threat or exaggerate the threat. Thanks for the info, Sean in Maine. Okay. This answer I'm about to give you is the same answer that I did entire shows on 15 years ago. It has nothing to do with anything that you asked. I don't care what the media says. I don't give a damn. Now, we'll come back to a little bit of modification due to pandemic history at the end of this. But this is how I'm going to make this decision. I don't give a shit what somebody on TV says. I don't care. I don't care what a politician says. I'm going to do a threat assessment, and I'm going to make a very simple decision. Do my odds of survival increase by leaving, or do they increase by staying, or do they remain pretty much even if I stay? I am only leaving if the first one is true. If my odds of survival go up by bugging out, I'm going to bug out. That's it. There is no other criteria. So if I live on the coast and a Category 5 hurricane is buzzsawing toward my location, I'm going to GTFOD, okay? I'm getting out. Because if I stay there, there's a large probability that my house is going to crush my spleen, and that's going to hurt, and I'm probably going to die. So I'm going to GTFOD. Yeah. If anything's happening that there's no way to get away from, or the thing really isn't coming to get me, all my stuff is here. All my preps are here. I can never carry what I have at my house, on my back, or in my car, in my truck, or in a trailer. Not going to happen. I don't want to leave unless it is the only way to increase my odds of surviving or at least not getting injured. That's it. There's no more to see. This is the thing that preppers have been doing in chat boards since there were chat boards. And there's always these make-believe fantasy worlds where you're going to go off and fight the Russians or the New World Order or the United Nations Blue Helmets or some other bullshit. And the Belgians are going to come gas you or something. Like, this is all fantasy bullshit. Throw it away. Now, let's rein it back into a pandemic. The best thing you can be during an actual pandemic that actually poses a serious health risk to you is in one place, not exposed to other people. Sounds like a good reason to bug in. However, I do know the media lies, the government lies, and the difference in your life in a state like Texas versus a state like New Jersey for 2020 and 2021 was night and day. So the way you might have me bug out if we had a repeat of that is if I lived in a draconian state and they started all their lockdown shit again, and it looked like it was going to have some duration to it, I would go to a state that has a track record of not doing that shit to their people. But you're not talking about a bug out the way this question's asked now. You're talking about a big bug out. You're talking about voting with your feet. You're talking about republicanism. And I don't mean the kind that has a political party, the GOP and an elephant, a fat ass, and this straight up ass, right? Like, it's what you got, right? In the words, or in the world of your two party system, right? A jackass and a fat ass. Like, I couldn't make it a better representation of government. I don't mean that. I mean, republicanism is in the form of government that this country is supposed to operate under. And there's still some vestiges of it. And anybody that said there wasn't, I noticed something about them. They ain't been talking that shit for the last 3-4 years. Because you can show them 100 examples of it. So while Gavin was at the French Laundry, maskless, partying with his rich friends, and Californians were locked down tighter than a monkey's butthole, I had 80 people in my garage and we were partying, and all the sheriff did when he drove by was wave. There's your republicanism. true republicanism, a Republican form of governance, a republic, where moving within the members of the republic changes your life based on regulation due to state sovereignty. So that's the only way you'd see me move, other than the calculus of, hey, something's going to kill me if I stay here. So if I think I'm going to be blown up, blown away, burned down, starved out, shot, etc., I'll get out. Other than that, 90+% of things that would be considered a disaster, this is why we prep. And this is why we build strongholds where we live. And I think that, I've said it enough times. I don't want to say get out anymore. If you haven't moved yet, I don't know what will make you move. All I know is something else will happen. What it is, I can't tell you. And here's the thing. Stop preparing for the last disaster. Stop acting like your government. Your government still thinks it's preparing for a bunch of box cutter wielding hijackers to crash a plane into a building. They still think that's what they're doing. They're not. It's not going to happen. What would happen right now? You're on an airplane and somebody gets up and starts screaming with a box cutter. Are you not going to, even if you get cut, that guy's getting no one's going to comply. No one's going to ever comply with that. Maybe 100 years from now, people will get enough brain fog to think, oh, yeah, if we do what the nice hijacker says, he won't kill us all. Let him in the cockpit. That's not happening. It's never happening again. In the life of anybody's middle age or older, you're never seeing that again. It's what we're preparing for in our government space. Don't be like that. The next thing that they do to take your liberty probably won't be a pandemic. And then there's the exception. It worked so good last time. Maybe they will. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah.